And I think this topic is so important, so we're doing a part 2. So go ahead.
I think I ended saying I used to set these resolutions or these just big audacious goals, and I had a lot of them, and my mind kind of works that way. And then I wouldn't meet those expectations, and so then I'd start the next year feeling like a failure, and I'm piling on. And I had to learn that it's progressive movement. It's progressive movement forward towards something. And then all of a sudden, years come, a year like I just had, where I had manifested a trip to Greece with my husband for 22 years. I worked for it. I saved for it. I planned for it. I wanted it years ago and couldn't afford it. And that seems like a materialistic thing. There's more to that story. However, yet here we were able to get there. And that took 22 years of planning progressively. That was a goal, a resolution, if you will. And it was met this year through different thinking.
Yeah. And to go back to what we were talking a little bit in episode 5 is, a lot of I found that, and I know by what you've talked about with like your mom, and sometimes it's like I found that I was spending a lot of money to make myself feel better. And, sometimes that's not necessarily the best way. I'm like, okay, well, if I buy all these people really cool gifts, knowing I can't retail therapy, but getting it for someone else, I'm like, maybe this is better. Maybe I'll feel better. But, in reality, once the bills come at the end of the month, or your credit card bills, or realizing you didn't have that money to spend, and it just kind of
snowballs. It doesn't feel joyful.
It doesn't feel joyful.
It doesn't feel good afterwards, that overspending. I grew up in a family where the Christmas, it was magical, and there were piles of gifts under the tree. But for me, that was also making up for a lack of something else at other times. And my husband and I had vowed that the holidays weren't going to be a time we went into debt, that we would spend what we could and we would find ways to do it within our means. And do we stretch our budget a little and, go overboard? But we do it mostly within the means that we have the ability to do so. And we really try to focus on the traditions, the activities, the memories, the meaning. For us, what is Christmas all about? Not everybody celebrates or believes in God, but we do, and that's a big part of what's the reason for the season, and I try to ground myself in that.
Yeah, and I honestly think it's a good distraction, doing fun things during the holidays.